Today we have the lovely and extraordinary certified trainers, fitness models, nutrition lifestyle leaders, NPC competitors, writers, and motivational speaker, Elizabeth Aguilera and Morgan Wehmer on the show. Welcome, ladies. How are you both?
Good. Thanks for having us.
You're most welcome. This is the first three-way edition of Real Talk, Real Women ever. Finger crossed everything goes well. So I know you're both doing a lot of exciting things in the industry, but how did you first get interested in health and fitness?
We both have been through a lot with our past experiences, and we had a heart-to-heart. We're very close sisters, and we decided the best thing for us to do was to use those experiences to help empower other women and anybody really, and just show that, we've been through disease and illness, and it is possible through fitness, a positive attitude, definitely, and a healthy lifestyle to really change your life. And reaching out into the fitness industry and just seeing a lot of the different models and reading articles in magazines, they're primarily geared towards weight loss and inspiration through weight loss stories, which is fantastic. But as far as people dealing with diseases and cancer and eating disorders, it's kind of in the shadows. No one really wants to talk about these things, and I mean, it is hard to talk about. It was very hard, I know, for Morgan. A lot of her friends, in college didn't even know about her past with this. So it was very hard, but we really want to help people through it. So from there, we just really decided to dive in head first, and we created our Facebook. We have a blog, Twitter, Instagram, and we really reached out to a lot of companies and magazines, and we were blessed to stumble upon Oh Yeah Nutrition, who we've been fans of for a very long time. And we kind of just explained to them what we wanted to do and, how we do want to help people. And we are lifestyle leaders with them now. Oh Yeah kind of reflects a lot of the same goals we have with keeping a healthy balance and positive lifestyle. So it worked out great, and we're very blessed to be with them.
Amazing. Elizabeth, I know you've transformed your body and actually changed your life through clean eating. Tell us how that happened.
Right before our interview, I actually had to go back in my records. I wanted to give you some facts on before I started this lifestyle. And I was surprised, I didn't even realize, but I began about 2 years ago. I reached out to Kelsey Byers, who I actually worked with you as well. We're friends with her now, and she has helped us so much. She was the first person I reached out to, and she messaged back right away, which I thought was kind of weird. I wasn't expecting that. But she referred me to her nutritionist, who is Kim Porterfield at the Institute of Eating Management in Houston. And I started with Kim. I started with her on 32% body fat, I saw today on my records with her. And over the course of 2 years, I've transformed my body. For a while, I was doing a lot of cardio. I love running, and I was always in sports and track. But I thought that, with the cardio and just eating low calorie, I was doing something good for my body. That wasn't the case. I've learned from her that by bumping up my calories, I eat a lot more than I used to, and I implement the weight training. I stepped on stage this July at 9%. So from 32, almost 32% to 9. My healthy medium, I try to maintain about 17. But yeah, just the clean eating with Kim, and I suggest anybody, if you really want to transform your body, make sure that you are eating enough nutrition, and nutrition is 80% of what you look like.
I agree. And on top of that, I know that you're a strong believer in the importance and power of a positive mental attitude. How do you stay positive?
I would say the main thing about my attitude is all of the hardships that I've been through. I would have turned away. I mean, if I had a choice, at the time, if I wanted to have my husband in the military or everything with the melanoma, my surgeries, I probably wouldn't have gone through that. These are things that were forced upon me, and I kind of just had to stay strong. But they've taught me that you have one life, and you can't take that for granted. My positive attitude has gotten me through everything. I feel that life is going to throw anything at you, and it's how you deal with it and how, I mean, everything, your self-talk, what you tell yourself when you wake up in the morning, that eventually, that day, I mean, is going to make your life. I mean, every day, the way that you live is eventually how you live the rest of your life. And instead of fighting change, I chose to accept that this is how it is. I mean, things are going to happen, and my attitude is everything. So I actually just told Morgan this morning, I found out his deployments, he's on deployment right now in Japan, but they just switched it from 6 months to 7 months after we re-enlisted about 2 weeks ago. So we weren't expecting that either, but again, we're going to make the most of it. And with my health, the cancer has taught me that I can't take my health for granted, and it really opened my eyes to doing things that I never thought that I could accomplish. I feel like if I was not diagnosed with the melanoma and had all these surgeries and had this scare in my life, I don't think that I would have been able to like see that it's important to jump at these dreams that you might think are impossible, because just trying, I mean, you never know what you're able to accomplish. Yep. So I'm sorry, that was a very long answer, but
no problem. Amazing mindset. So Morgan, can you give any tips around it?
Liz herself really helps me stay extremely positive. Someone who is going through as much as she is going through. I mean, I have school, and that's a lot. School is a huge weight on my shoulders. But I'm not married to somebody who I don't get to see, like 4 months of the year, or I only get to see 4 months of the year. So, I mean, her and herself are an inspiration. And I use, like, honestly, it sounds silly, but our page that we made, I use that to inspire me. We get messages that bring us to tears. They are messages from women across the nation that we have helped. And just seeing that, like, me and Liz used to just cry at the computer about just the amazing things that these people, we have touched them in ways that we didn't even think were possible. And that is so inspiring to me to keep doing what I'm doing and to even further what I'm doing to help more people. So, I mean, you can find inspiration anywhere at all. I mean, just what we're doing is just furthering our inspiration.
Yeah, and you're doing both a great job.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, I know this is hard for you to talk about, but at the same time, I know that so many women are going through this as well, and they could learn from you and tap into your tremendous strength. You're a cancer survivor. How has that made you stronger, and what are you willing to share around it?
Like I said before, it is hard for me. It's I have skin cancer. It's melanoma, and it is the most fatal skin cancer, one of the most fatal cancers. And in a way, like the way that I really deal with it is I know there are people out there with much worse, stages of this melanoma. I mean, if it hits stage 3 or stage 4, there's no cure for it. And there's people, one of my ladies that I work with at Oh Yeah Nutrition, her brother is suffering from cancer, and he's had numerous surgeries that are way worse than mine. So it boils down to I do have problems, but I have a lot of blessings in my life, and I choose to focus on my blessings and not my problems, because there's other people in this world that have a lot more going on than I have going on. And just that thought alone, it gets me through the day. The cancer, with the melanoma, I've had a total of 7 areas in 1 year. My body seems to make it very fast. My body chemistry is rapidly changing. So my doctors they don't really know. I mean, I'm very young. I'm 23 years old, and they haven't seen this. But to deal with it, I go every 2.5 months, and I have my lymph nodes checked. I have my CAT scan and my body mapping, and they're keeping very good track of just everything on me. So with the 2.5 months, the monitoring on that, I don't think that, I mean, I hope that nothing would go above the 4 stages. I had an area on my leg that was my worst one. They had to go in about 3 times, and that was my biggest scare because I didn't know if they were going to get all of it. And I didn't want to start, of course, I didn't want to do the radiation and the treatments, but through that whole process, I just kept telling myself, I am a role model. I'm an older sister to you, Morgan, and I wanted to keep a positive attitude. So, I mean, from there, I decided I wanted to do all of these things that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and some of those were compete. I entered my first NPC competition because of all of this, and I placed 4th. I was very excited for that. And then that's when I really reached out. I graduated college, and I decided I wanted to do fitness modeling. I wanted to get signed with an agency and work with a great nutrition company. And I mean, these goals were goals that I've had written down in a journal of goals. And I just decided, I have one life, and I don't know how many days I have on this earth, and I'm going to try to reach for these goals. And I mean, it kind of just took off from there. So, I mean, I turned something that was extremely hard for me, and I mean, it was a painful experience. I mean, it's hard for me to deal with this every day, but at the same time, it's opened up my eyes, and I've learned to be a stronger person because of it. So I do believe everything happens for a reason, and I mean, I'm trying as hard as I can to help people through my experiences with that as well.
Oh, thank you so much for your openness, and I'm so glad to see you're doing well.
Thank you.
Morgan, you actually overcome an eating disorder and have since dedicated your life to nursing, fitness, taking care of your body, and helping others realize how important it is to live a healthy lifestyle as well. What is the single most important lesson you've learned on this journey?
The most important lesson that I've learned would have to be how important taking care of your body is, and I see that through Liz as well. I mean, I've learned that through Liz as well, on top of my own journey. Taking care of your body I could have done so much damage to my body, and I'm so lucky that I didn't. People who have, especially women, who go through eating disorders or go through any kind of health scare at all where your nutrition is affected when you're young, you can lose your bone mass. Like, your bone density is extremely, extremely important at this age. It stops at about 25, and then your bones are what you have, what you've grown through the years. And I could have affected my bones, your brain. Like, I wasn't eating enough. I wasn't eating enough carbs, and carbs, your brain only works on carbs, actually. A lot of people don't know that. No protein whatsoever. Your brain needs at least 100 grams of carbs a day. And I very well could not have been eating 100 carbs a day. I was probably eating about a couple hundred calories a day, and it was the most severe. It's almost like looking at something, like reading a book. Like, I can't relate to it anymore because it's just, I've learned so much since then that I don't know who that person is, and I just want to do whatever I can to help people understand that your body, you have one body your whole life, and you can get melanoma without wanting it. Just genetically, it just comes. You can get like genetic diseases that you can't help, but if you can help what you're doing, then do it right. And that's fitness, that's nutrition. So I would definitely say that your body and putting good things into it and taking care of it is the single most important thing that you can do for yourself.
That's great advice. So tell me a little bit about the website the two of you have created to help empower women. I love that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so we do have our Facebook. We primarily do use that as the main source, the main outlet we speak to our followers on. We also have our Twitter, our Instagram, and our blog. We created this kind of, like we said before, we really wanted to reach out to people and share our stories, and kind of just, I mean, highlight the harder trials that people go through and show people that it's possible to get through them, and with a positive attitude you can make anything happen. I mean, fitness really, it saved Morgan and I. It really did. We completely changed our life. I mean, even to this day I have a lot of stress with dealing with, I kind of still am in the unknown. I don't know. Every time I go to the doctor, I'm very scared of what I'm going to hear. And with my husband, he's in Japan right now. He's been gone since May. So the military, it has its ups and downs. So, I mean, for me, with my stress, I use the gym as an outlet. I choose to make my negatives into positives and really use that as fuel for my workouts and to make a better version of myself and to reach out and help people with my time. I mean, I said this on our site as well, so many of our followers know, but our site actually, like Morgan said, it helps us just as much as it's helping these people. For me, I feel like it's really important in life to kind of devote yourself to helping others. I mean, you can sit down all day and worry about your own problems, and it does nothing for you. But if you can use your time and take the focus off of yourself, but use it to help others, it's going to not only help you cope with your own problems and make you feel better, but it's going to be helping somebody else. So we kind of, I mean, it's just like this endless circle of helping, but I mean, and it sounds crazy, but it's like a stress reliever for us to really reach out and just help people. It makes us feel so much better, and like we're actually making a difference, and I hope we are in any way possible. So
I love that. And on this website, you state that you live a positive and fearless life. Why is that so many people are paralyzed by fear, and what can they do to break free from that fear?
I think that fear is honestly the only enemy that your mind has. If you create goals, if you set a goal list and you achieve like short-term goals, then you can start to build up that motivation that you can achieve the big-term goals, the long-term goals, the things like we actually had on our long-term goal list being signed with a nutrition company, and that actually came really fast. And if you set small goals and build the confidence and see that you have the power, then I feel like that is probably the main surefire way that you can overcome the fear, because you're showing yourself that you can do it. And of course, something huge is going to look very scary to anybody, even if you're extremely qualified in whatever you want to do. So if you just like work your way, like, how do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. Like, it's a huge, huge thing to see anything you're scared of or anything you want to do. But if you do little things to get there, every step counts. And in my opinion, that's how you fight the fear.
I agree.
I think that it's very important to challenge yourself every day. You should always be looking for new things that you haven't tried before and new experiences, because when you go into those areas that you're unfamiliar with, you give yourself the opportunity and the chance to grow and evolve. I mean, to become a better version of yourself. And that's something that you should wake up every day, and you should always want to compete with yourself, always be a better version of yourself. And to do that, I mean, you're going to have to face your fears. Just like Morgan and I mean, we did do the Fit and Fearless thing because, I mean, even in the Bible, it says, do not fear. Ironically, 365 times, which is exactly how many days are in a year. I mean, it's just a very, it's an important way just, to think and to live and stay positive, definitely, and just always challenge yourself.
Great. And if you could just give one tip in regards to living a healthy lifestyle, what would it be?
I would say for a healthy lifestyle, I would do balance. I think that it's not just physical health, but it's also mental health. And with fitness, I know a lot of people may think that fitness is just about looking great and having like a great fit body, and it's not about that. It's about how you feel inside and just, I mean, your spirit, your mind, your body, just having that balance will really help you create an amazing life. So I would say balance.
Balance is, of course, the most important, but to add to balance, I would say surrounding yourself with people who have similar goals and people who are genuinely healthy people as well. I mean, of course, you can't pick everyone in your life. Like, you're given your family, you're given this and that, but if you can choose your circle of friends, and if your circle have good intentions for you and good intentions in their own life, they're going to lead you in a positive direction. And then on top of that, if you're having the balance in your life already and you're treating your body right and you're putting good things into your body to help your mind as well, which goes with the balance, that plus having the right people around you, I feel like that's the recipe for a good and positive life. I really don't see how you can go wrong if you follow those guidelines. I don't see how you can go wrong.
Great guidelines, girls. And Elizabeth, you have a degree in public relations. Morgan, you are a nursing student. How important do you feel education is, and what tips can you give people around educating themselves when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle?
I would definitely say that if you want to educate yourself, and if you want to use education towards living a fit and healthy lifestyle, I think that no matter what direction you're going in with school, you should enroll in a nutrition class. Liz has her nutrition minor, and I've taken a lot of nutrition courses, and I'm trying to get my minor in it as well, plus a minor in psychology. So, like, I think that you can definitely incorporate that into your schooling, but I feel that education is one of the most important things that can ever be taken away from you. And if you have the means, it is expensive. If you have the means to educate yourself and to enroll in school, there's no way that you could be doing something bad for yourself. And I think that's a very, very important thing that somebody can do for themselves, especially while they're young.
My goals with education, I feel the same as Morgan. It's kind of something that you just do for yourself, and you're opening doors for yourself, you know, that wouldn't have been there if you didn't have a degree behind you. With the nutrition and the education, we both are certified trainers. I'm actually debating right now. I talked to my nutritionist about doing the dietitian program. It's just something I'm very interested in. But with public relations, what I was hoping for is to someday, I'm waiting to begin my career. We're actually, my husband and I are building our home right now. It's going to be finished in November. So right now I'm with my family in Chicago, and when he gets back from deployment, I'll be moving to Florida where we're stationed. So I'm hoping to begin my career when I move. And I really want to work for a company, like a great company, doing PR with them, and just in my field, but also working with something I'm passionate about. And then on the side, Morgan and I will continue, of course, to work with OEA Nutrition and our agencies. So, but I mean, with education, again, it goes back to a couple questions back about just always trying to be a better version of yourself. And if you can do it, I mean, definitely do that. You would not, that's something you would not regret, and it could only benefit you in the long run.
Great advice, girls. And where can people go online to connect with and learn more about the two of you?
We have our website. I would say, like I said before, I would probably say Facebook, right, Morgan?
We have so many branches of social media, but we have our website, which is elizabethmorganfit.com. That site in itself has the different areas that you can go to. There's our Facebook, and you can go to our Facebook from our website. There's our Instagram, our Twitter, and then, yeah, I think our Facebook is what we're most active on, because honestly, as much as we love to do like fitness related things already, it keeps us on track, and we talk about our workouts on that, and we'll post like a post of our post workout meal and stuff like that. So that's where you're going to really be able to connect with us the best, because that's kind of like, we kind of favorite, because it helps us keep on, stay on track as well. So I would say our Facebook, and that's also Elizabeth Morgan Fit, and both, we have over 4,000 followers on that right now. So that's probably our most popular form as well. So
great, and I will make sure to put all your links below this video.
Okay, awesome.
You're most welcome. Is there anything else you would like to talk about that you feel we've missed today?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything. I would just like to stress that it's very important with everything. I know every single one of us, we all have our own problems. I mean, we don't know, just looking at someone, you might not know what kind of day they're having or what past experiences that God has given them. And it's important just to know that we all are in this together. We all have our own problems. And by changing how we think about things and just staying positive, I mean, one of my favorite quotes is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And that is so true, because it's really, I mean, if you tell yourself that you're going to get through this or you can do this, I mean, it's just, that's all it takes. It's just what you think you can do. So I'm going to leave it at that. Just stay positive, and hopefully anyone viewing this will check out our pages and get to know us a little bit better. But I would also just want to thank you for reaching out to Morgan and I. So this is a great opportunity to work with you, and we really appreciate it.
Oh, you're most welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I was going to say, I know it's always an uncomfortable topic, but it's actually something that I feel should be talked about a lot more, because it is so uncomfortable. But my past, like, if you go on our website, on our Facebook especially, we have both of our separate stories. But I don't want to necessarily get into the severity of my story, because you can read about it. But it's just keep in mind that, like Liz said, you don't know what people are going through. And I had so many people reach out to me when I was experiencing my disease in high school, and it's so important to know that you don't want to consume yourself in everybody's problems and put that stress upon yourself. But if you can help somebody and lend a helping hand and just give them advice, because things might seem so easy to you and they're not easy to somebody else, and things are interesting to you and they're not to somebody else. So you might have this little knowledge, like, what's it called, nugget of knowledge that can help somebody so much, and they might really, really need it. So I've helped so many people that have gone through what I've gone through, that have messaged us on Facebook. And yes, it's very deep, and it's very gotta be careful with what you say. But if somebody's going through an eating disorder, any kind of problem like that, if you can help, because everyone's in this together, and no one really knows what anybody's going through, and it's just so important to remember. So,
I agree.
I would say.
Thank you so much, ladies. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Khalladi. For more inspiration, check out our book at realtalkrealwomenbook.com.